This is Paul. Um, it's 12:04. Yeah. And before I look at some documentation, I thought that I would get this World Book Encyclopedia, the letter L. Yes. And 100 years. Yeah. I opened it up, and you know what happened? There was a president named Abraham Lincoln. Yes. And I look here, there was a trial of the conspirators after shooting Lincoln. Booth fled to Maryland, yeah, on horseback. A friend of David E. Harold, a former druggist clerk, yeah, joined Booth there and helped him escape to Virginia, yeah, on April 26th of 1865. Federal troops searching for Booth trapped the two men in a barn near Port Royal, Virginia. Yeah. Harold surrendered, but Booth was shot and killed. Oh. Now, there was several people were believed to have been involved with Booth in both Lincoln's assassination and a plot to kill other government officials. Yeah. Secretary of War Edwin M. Stanton ordered agents of his department, yeah, to arrest them. Besides Harold, the accused conspirators, including George Atzerodt, carriage maker, for planning the murder of Vice President Andrew Johnson, yes. Lewis Payne, a former Confederate soldier, for attempting to kill Secretary of State Seward, yeah. And Mary E. Surratt, the owner of the Washington boarding house, for helping the plotters, yes. Booth and others supposedly planned the crimes in Surratt's home. Oh. Now, the Department of War also accused Samuel Arnold and Michael O'Laughlin, yeah, boyhood friends of Booth's. Now, there was a nine-man military commission, yes, that tried and accused the conspirators in Washington. Yeah. The trial began on May 10th of 1865 and lasted until June 30th. The commission convicted all 8 defendants and sentenced Atzerodt, Harold, Payne, and Surratt to death. They were hanged on July 7th. Then Arnold, Mudd, and O'Laughlin received sentences of life imprisonment. Spangler received a 6-year sentence. O'Laughlin died in prison of yellow fever in 1867. Yeah. Now, these military commissions that accuse conspirators of treason, um, I think that in 1865 there was a civil war, yes. And President Abraham Lincoln had something to do with the 13th and 14th Amendments. Yes. I know they're not important amendments to those that are in Clallam County, but it seemed that some states were not enforcing the federal constitution. Yes. And they wanted to keep their slavery. It was kind of like slaves were, they were of value to those that had purchased them. Yes. Now, at the end of the war on April 9th, 1865, Lee surrendered to Grant at Appomattox Courthouse in Virginia. Yes. A few days before, Lincoln had quietly entered Richmond, accompanied by his son Tad. There he was greeted as a savior by the city's once enslaved African Americans. Now I know you're probably saying as a judiciary that they didn't put all the Superior Court cases online, and I went to the court case website and looked for different court cases. Yes. But I thought this concept of civil rights, yes, it was kind of established during the time of slavery of the United States of America. Now, it could be that some sheriffs and some judges, congratulations, Washington State, yes, don't really believe that the United States military has the legal right to try those in office for any crimes against the United States of America. You don't believe that, do you? Now, I'm just going to look at the encyclopedia because the 13th and 14th Amendments don't seem to be that important to those that are appointed Superior Court judges. And when I mentioned that you didn't document, and I guess you don't have to document, and you can continue with the dissolution of marriage without documenting on the Superior Court case history the actual default dissolution of marriage. But as a father, when I found out that my wife had motioned the court for a default dissolution of marriage, I decided I better run down to the courthouse and find out what that was about. Now, I know she signed Heidi Lee Hodges as if the South was going to rise up again and we were going to enslave the population. And then you, as a Superior Court judge, Brent Baston right now, you could never be tried by a military commission for being accused conspirators of those that don't support and defend the Constitution. Now, somebody, yes, in 1865, decided to involve the military after the assassination of President Abraham Lincoln. Now, he's one of those famous presidents that we've had over the last 250 years. As I said, there is no strength in this nation. Yeah. Now, I know the Army, they say, well, we're Army strong. I'm saying, well, actually, you're not. You're not fucking strong. You're not Army weak. You have no strength as an Army. For every general of the United States Army that does not feel the strength of the United States Constitution, the concept of the United States Army not being strong, yes, it's not about the calisthenics. It's not about exercising or building your muscles. It's about the support and defense of the Constitution of the United States. Now, as a citizen of the United States, I would say that the Army is not strong. They have no strength because they don't support and defend the Constitution of this great nation. I'm sorry, Army. Some local judges decided that they would remove the strength of the United States military because the Department of War would not arrest and commission a military commission to try those in office for the intentional violating of the Constitution of this great nation. Now, it's not for me to really get down on those that are generals, yes, but I've oftentimes mentioned the 1 to 4-star generals that are vetted in the United States Congress, yes, as if they had some sort of obligation, yes, to reinforce the strength of the nation. Now, if you happen to be in the Army today, you are serving in an army that has no strength. I'm sorry to tell you that, soldier.